Okay, in this video I want to talk about the 6 different types of dispute resolution. We're going to be going over negotiation, mediation, arbitration, adjudication, rent-a-judge, and mini-trial. There's also a 7th type of dispute resolution called med-arb. It's a combination of mediation and arbitration that I'm also going to want you to know. You'll need this for in-class activity number 7. Now we're going to start with negotiation. Negotiation is the most basic type of dispute resolution. In this type of dispute resolution, the participation is always voluntary. It's always voluntary. Now this is also a type of dispute resolution where the decisions are non-binding. Now we'll go back to our divorce example here, and this would be when a husband and wife, or whatever relationship you're in, have some kind of dispute and you come to an agreement. You might come to an agreement between the two of you on who gets the dog in the event that you split up. The important thing to keep in mind about negotiation is that there is no third party. There is no third party. Now this is important because this means that the dispute in this case only goes through the grievance, the ANCE, and the conflict stage, but it does not go to the third stage. Okay, so if you remember back to the previous video on dispute resolution in the 3 stages, grievance is the first stage, conflict is the second stage, and we never get to the dispute stage when you're involved in a negotiation. Okay, so what about the formality of the proceedings? Well, we need to talk about that next. And in the case of negotiation, these are informal and unstructured. Informal and unstructured. Again, in negotiation, it's just 2 people sitting around a table or wherever over coffee or a drink and trying to come up with some way to resolve their problem. Proofs and evidence are usually indirect or non-existent. Now, when we get to more formal types of dispute resolution, you will find that we do require proofs and evidence. In this type of dispute resolution, the type of decision is a mutually acceptable agreement. Mutually acceptable agreement. Okay? This means that the terms of a negotiation have to be acceptable to both parties. When it comes to the justification of the decision, in other words, how do you justify the decision that you've come to, it is usually included in a contract or a release sought, a release from responsibility. Okay. The emphasis in a negotiation is on the disputant's relationship. The disputant's relationship. Negotiation is usually the least confrontational type of dispute resolution, and typically when you're involved in a negotiation, the single most important thing to the 2 parties is that the relationship does not get irrevocably destroyed, damaged, or whatever. The nature of the process is highly private. So if we wanted to think about a particular example using our divorce example, this is when 2 people decide to sever their relationship. Okay, they agree to sit down and talk over who gets the dog, who gets the cat. I think there's a country song about take your cat and give me back my sweater or something along those lines. But negotiation, this is really important thing to remember, and I'll try to trip you guys up with this on the third exam, not the final exam, is that there's no third party involved. Okay, remember negotiation just happens at stage 2 of the dispute process. It doesn't reach the third stage. informal and unstructured. Proofs are and evidence are not required. The type of decision is something that both parties agree is acceptable. The justification of the decision may be included in a contract or a release sought. You might, if you're getting divorced and you own property, I don't know, let's say a boat or a jet ski or something like that, you may ask them to release any claim they might have to that property. The emphasis is on the disputant's relationship, and the nature of the process is highly private.